running this program, we have to use Java keyword along with the main class name. The main class name would be the demo. Okay, D should be capital here. Okay, so Java demo, and we have to pass the values. Okay, we have to pass the values. Okay, so pass the values like beta, gamma, alpha, delta. Okay, I am passing four values here. One is beta, one is gamma, one is alpha, and another one is delta. Okay, and just hit the enter button. Okay, see, the output of our program is the word gamma. Okay, so the command we gave is java space demo and gamma in the, okay, so second, so gamma is the second element. That means gamma is the gamma with array index of 1. So the obviously the option will be the C. Okay, but so in the D also, okay, so gamma in the first, I mean gamma with array index of 1 only. Gamma is the second element in D also, but D is not true because the command, okay, they are using dot class, java space dot class name. How can you write like that? So you have to give only the main class name only. Okay, so option D is not valid. Only option C is the valid one. Okay, so like I gave this question only on a purpose, like how many of you are concentrating on the problem solving skills. So those are the basic things. Even I didn't discuss the topic. Even I didn't discuss about the command line arguments. You can happily understand. You can happily. So I hope like they will select either B or a C. But you didn't select either B or a C. Some of you selected E, some of you selected D. How can you run with a D and E? So can you use dot class file, I mean dot extension, dot class extension while running the program? No, you can't use. Okay, so the fourth one is C. Okay, yeah, got it? Everyone is clear, no? About the fourth one.
Yes, sir.
So coming to the fifth question. So yeah, what is the output of this fifth question? Anyone? Okay. So just to revise the content that what we discussed while I'm explaining about um, data types. In the data types, I explained you about the default value of a data type. No. So did I explain you about default value of a data type? Hello, guys. I think let's check. Sorry. So in the class notes, I think there will be. Thank you. Mm, I think 19. Yes. See, here I explained you about the default value of every data type. Okay, so what is the default value of character data type? Which is a 000. Okay, so which is a 000. Okay, so this, and I mean backslash u. Okay, this backslash u stored in a computer, not a, I mean it's not a something else. Okay, so the value of this particular default value of character is 0. Okay, so here we are creating a two variables x and y, which is a character data type. Okay, but we didn't initialize those values. Okay, we didn't initialize those values. Okay, so still we didn't initialize those values. The default value of x and y should be the 0. Okay, So we are printing the value here, okay, which is a int sum equal to x plus y. So 0 plus 0 obviously, which is a equal to 0. So the fifth question, okay, the output of fifth question will be C, because the program will display output as 0, because we are adding the two characters to integer and which is a not defined. Okay, there is no value in the characters. So the default characters, the default value of a character should be 0, as we discussed earlier. Okay, so the output of this particular code will be option C. Okay, which will give you the 0. Okay, if you want to try, you can compile this program, you will get a 0 for sure. Okay, so these all are the questions which we concentrated on the basics only. Okay, so you have to understand the basic things, the very basic things. Okay, are you satisfied with option C? Is this okay, or do you find any doubt, or do you have any doubt here? The option for fifth question is C. The output will be 0, because we are creating an arrays which we are creating the characters, and we didn't initialize the values of character. So the default value will be stored in the characters. Okay, the default value of a character is nothing but a 0 and 0. Okay, so sum of 0 and 0 is nothing but a 0. The output will be 0 for sure. Okay, see, in the data types I explained you about the default values, no, the default values of so many things. Okay, so you have to understand the basic things. Okay, so do you have any doubt here in fifth question? Anyone? Is everyone
No,
clear with
sir.
this?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Let's go to the sixth question. Okay, so here I added something which we not discussed. Okay. Aman sing. Aman, do you want to sing something? I appreciate you, but let's sing. It's okay. Hmm. So we are discussing. Okay, here we didn't discuss about the string and the length topics, but still I gave you because okay, it is a basic thing. So see, we are declaring the one string which is a of length three characters. Okay, P Q R, which are the three characters. Okay, so the length of the string will be obviously 3, because we defined only 3 characters. Okay, so the length is a integer, right? So in the length we store the length of a string, and the length of the string will be 3. So length has 3. Okay, length, the value of the length is 3. Okay, so let's go to the execution part. Okay, in the case 3, okay, case 1 not executed, case 2 not executed, case 3 will execute for sure, because the value of a length is 3. Okay, so in the case 3 we are printing one value which is a march. Okay, so we are printing one value which is a march. Okay, so the output will be march. Okay, so let's go to the things. Okay, so coming to the option B. Okay, so it generates compile error, no. So it will execute successfully, and the program will display output as January, no, because the option, the value is not equal to 1. Okay, value is 3, right? And the program will throw runtime exception, no, there is no chance for runtime exception. Okay, so the program will print March, because okay, so here we are calculating the length of a character. Okay, the length of the string is 3, because we created only 3 characters in a string. Okay, the length will be 3. So length, if length equal to 3, what will happen? The case 3 is going to execute. In the case 3 we are printing the march value. Okay, so the obviously option A is a correct answer. The program will display output as march. Okay, yeah. So here we mentioned 3 characters, and we passed that 3 characters to length variable. So the length, so if length equal to 3, then case equal to 3 is executed successfully, and we used break as well. Okay, so no need of next statement. Okay, so the output is only much. Okay, so For sixth question, option A is correct answer. Okay, so coming to the seventh question. Okay, coming to seventh question. Okay, so can you guess the output here? Can you guess the output? Output here.
Equal.
It will print equal for sure. Very good. Because we are comparing P and Q value here. Okay, so just ignore the A equal to here. So we have to pass the P, if we have to store the P value in here. Okay, so that is unnecessary for us. Okay, so I added only for confusion, for creating a confusion in you. Okay, so here we have to concentrate on the only P double equal to Q. Okay, P has a false and Q has a false. Obviously, the output, I mean, the condition is true. If the condition is true, if block is going to execute, so it will print equal for sure. So option A is correct answer. The program will print output as a equal because the specified condition is true, so the if block is going to execute. Okay, and the coming to the eighth one. Okay, eighth one. I think I already gave this particular question in the first assessment. No, did I give it to you? I think
Yes, sir.
I mentioned this in the first assessment. Mm. Actually, I'm trying to prepare so many questions. So no. So I gave the question which is very similar to this, but not this question. This one. So what is the option here? Do you know? Can we find the output? Question number 8. What will be the output? Just look at the code. Just review the code. Did you find anything
Sir?
illegal here? Yeah.
Sir, Boolean status variable should be true or false.
Very good. But we are passing 1, which is an integer. So we can't pass that. So obviously it will raise a compilation error. Okay. So program will generate compile time error because you are passing an integer value to Boolean. How can you pass an integer value to Boolean? It is illegal, sorry. Okay. So the option 8, here is a correct answer for 8th question. Okay, so coming to the 9th question. So we created one main method. In the main method, yeah, this is the interesting part. Yes, I want to explain this. Okay, so I appreciate you if uh, if you tell the answer for this question. Short b1 equal to 2 and short b2 equal to 3 and short b3 equal to b1 plus b2, and what will be the result? So many people marked D as a correct answer. Are you agree with this? Are you agree with D? I am not agree. So can
No,
you
sir.
find? Sorry.
It will, sir. Actually, it will generate in compile time error.
Okay.
Reason being, we use short here,
Okay.
like into conversion of short to int.
Okay. Where we used int? So we only declare a 2 and 3, which is a short values, no? So the short data type has, you know, value. Go to the data types. Short has the values between 2 power minus 15 to 2 power 15. 2 power minus 15 to 2 power 15. No? So 2 and 3 both are should be in this particular range only. Okay, both are in this particular range only. But why it will show me an error here? So you are adding two short variables. So the obviously the output of short values should be the short. But why you are expecting integer here? Why it is raising an error here? Obviously it is true. Okay, so option A is correct answer. It will raise and compile time error. I also agreed for that, but I want to reason why. So we are using two short integers, short values, which is a 2 and 3, which is in a perfect limit. Okay, but still why we are getting an error here? Any guesses? Any guess? Any guess? It's a basic thing. No? Riya, Sandeep, Ashtosh, Yogesh, Anand. Any guess why it is raising an error? Even we are using in a, particular range values. Okay, I'll explain. Don't worry. So here we are declaring two values now, short b1 equal to 2 and short b equal to 3. Okay, so I think you aware of the compilation time and runtime now. So you guys are aware of that. Are you guys are aware of that? Like what happened with compile time and what happened with runtime? Yes, Rupa,
Yes,
you're saying. Rupa, yeah, tell.
I'm saying yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay, see, so at compile time, okay, so Java compiler checks for the, okay, Java compiler checks for the syntax part, okay, it only checks for the syntactical sugar of a program. It never checks for the values, okay. So you are passing 2, which is a legal, and you are passing the 3, which is a legal at a compile time. Okay, so when you are adding those two values, okay, when you are adding a two short values, okay, when you are adding a two short values, okay, maybe there is a chance, okay, so maybe there is a chance to change the values of a short variables, no, like a and b1 and b2 may be changed at a runtime, no, there is a chance, okay, there is a chance to change these values because these are a variables, okay, if it is a constant it is okay, but these are the things which are the variables, that means we can change the value during the runtime of a program. The value of a the value of a variable may change at a runtime. Okay, the value of a these value and variables may not be changed at a compile time, but may be changed at a runtime. Okay, so if those values is greater than limit, okay, greater than that one particular limit, okay, so which is a result in integer, okay, so for example you gave, okay, so for example 3000 or something, like that. Guys, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
My voice is audible now. Can you hear me now?
So it is clear now.
So there may be, okay, so we can change the values of short b1 and b2 during the runtime of a program. Okay, if you change the values of these variables at runtime, okay, so which is resultant in a integer values, okay, so which is resultant in a integer value, okay, so if you write same program with a final keyword, okay, final keyword is used to declare a constants. If you work with a constants, it won't raise any error. Mhm. So I'm copying this code. Mm, should be done. Okay, just save this program and done. Okay, so which causes an error because, okay, so at a runtime, okay, at a runtime, these values may be changed, na? These values may be changed. Okay, so if those values, if you change those values, the resultant of addition would be integer. Okay, the resultant of, I mean, these particular values should be integer. So at runtime, okay, it may be causes an exception. Okay, so that's why Java compiler, okay, automatically recognize you can't use a short variables addition. So you can use final keyword to eliminate this error. So I'm using final keyword here. A final is a keyword which is used to define a constant in Java. Okay, constant is nothing but a, so we can change the value of a constant during the runtime. Okay, we can't change because it is a constant. Once we declare one value to the constant, it will be permanent during the execution of a program. So we can't change the value of a constant during the execution of or during the running of a program. Okay, so it won't raise any error, no. Okay, just recompile this program. Okay, it won't raise any error. We can happily run this program. We will get an output for sure. Okay, we got an output as a result equal to 5 because, okay, so we used the final keyword which is meant by a constant. Okay, that means you can't change. Okay, so user can't able to change because it is a constant, so I can happily store this value in a short. Okay, Java compiler things like that. Okay, if you didn't use constants, the value of a that particular variable at runtime may change. Okay, the value of a variables, okay, may change during the execution of a program. So that's why Java compiler detects the future thing. Okay, maybe there is a run. Okay, maybe there, I mean, maybe there is a choice to getting an integer value if you add two short variables. So that's why, okay, Java compiler raises an error if you didn't use final keyword here. Okay, so we didn't use final keywords here, so that's why the output, okay, so will be the compilation error. Okay, so option 9, okay, I mean, ninth question answer is option A. It will raise an compilation error. Okay, because the value of a short variables may change during the execution of a program. Okay, if you change the values of those short values, okay, which result into an integer value. Okay, so you can't declare like that. If you declare it as a final, okay, you can happily work on it because you can't change a final variable. You can't change the variable, I mean, value of a constant. Okay, so that's why it will automatically execute. Okay, so this is how you need to write the problem. Okay, you need to understand like every data type. You need to understand. You need to understand the behavior of Java compiler. Then only you can execute these particular things in your mind. Okay, and coming to the 10th question. What is the output of
Excuse
10th
me,
question?
sir.
Yes,
So
yes, ma'am.
this thing only happens with the short data type,
Yeah, like if you use byte only, no?
byte and short,
Yeah,
not with
because
integer, float, and double.
no, because there is no data limit for float and double, no?
Yeah.
There is no specific limit for float.
Okay.
Okay, it will only happen for byte and short.
Okay, sir.
And so here, what is the output? So we are using while operator, so while method. So initially the number value is 0 and the max value is 20. So 0 less than 20, which is a true, and 0 will be printed on the screen. Okay, and the number plus 5, that means a 5. 5 less than 20, so which is a true, 5 is also printed on the screen. Okay, again 5 plus 5, that is a 10. 10 less than 20, which is a true, and 10 will be printed on the screen. Again it's a 15, so 15 less than 20, so like it is a true, and it will be printed on the screen. Now 15 plus 5, that is a 20. 20 less than 20, is it a true? Obviously false. Okay, you can exit from the loop. So the output of this following program is this 0, 5, 10, 15. You can't print 20 because we used the only less than. If you use less than or equal to, then it will print 20. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. So I'm a bit disappointed about your performance yesterday. So many, I mean, your scores are very low compared to the first assessment. See, 5.8, 5.8, 5.8. Only very few people, one or two people maintains consistency. Lot of fives in the 5, 6, 5, 6. Only 3, 8, 5, 8. Only 5 members got 8 marks, and only one, only one member got 9 marks. And Divya is the only one who maintained high scores in the two, I mean, two assessments. Let's appreciate Divya for that. And Sandeep is also on 8 and 8. I need a consistency. Okay. So, and Ankit Sharma 9 and 8. Okay. And Ketan 9 and 7. There is a chance to improve. And 8 and 8 Sheetal, and 8 and 8 for Bharta Kumari as well. Nishika Chandra. Only those people maintaining the consistency. I love consistency rather than a good performance on one day. So you need a consistency. Okay. So can I expect good score today?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Rupa.
Sir, actually, there is some medical emergency in my house, so
Acha,
I
acha.
wanted some extra time to solve. Like in evening, I'm free, no? So
Okay.
if I could submit in evening, it would be okay.
Because I need to send the report by 6 o'clock every day.
Okay, so I'll
So
try.
before 5, okay, let it be sending before 5 or 5:30.
Okay, okay, sir.
But the point is, so I mean, I have to compile your answers now, so it may takes time. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking you to send as early as possible, because
Okay,
I'm
sir.
having another session in the afternoon also. So I'm having another session from 2 to 6. So I
Yes.
didn't have a time to compile. So that's why I'm forcing you to send as early as possible. Yeah. So like only 2 to 3 people sent me the code after 2:45 as well. Okay, but I'm very kind man. So that's why I mean I corrected them also. But except Rupa, okay. So I don't want any scripts after 3 o'clock. Okay. So you have 2 hours of time. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, sir.
But yeah, Rupa has some issues. So you can excuse me. Okay, are you okay with these questions? Guys, do you have any issue on the assessment tool?
No, sir.
All of you clear with this? So I only gave you 2 questions, which is not, I mean, which is not a thing, which we not discussed here. But those 2 questions are very easy thing. You can answer. One is the command and arguments, and one is this particular string methods. So only these 2 questions you don't need.
Sir, I have a
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
So in sixth question we use a string. So can we use a character as well?
Yeah, you can use character, but in the character you have to pass only one character. You have to pass either P or Q or R. No, so character is nothing but only one character.
Okay. And
So
sir,
we use
yes, sir. So
so
LAN is used for counting.
yeah, the lan. I mean, len is a variable which is used to store the length of the string. Okay, so I mean, what is the string? String is nothing but a collection of different characters, right? So if you use
Yes, sir.
character, you have to use only one thing at a time. Like if you use character, no, so you have to use like this: char a equal to or char str equal to. So p, you can't use pqr because it is a character. You have to only use only one p, and you have to use single quotations. Okay, it is a label. What is the thing? I mean, what is the matter here to calculate the length of a character? the length of the character should be the one only, no? Got it?
Yes,
So
sir.
the character, I mean, the length of a character always should be one, because we have to pass only one argument, only one particular character here. So there is a nothing matter for passing the different value and calculating the length of that particular thing. So that's why we just string. So now the length of the string will be 3.
So we can use LAN statement for integer as well.
Lance, sorry.
So
Yeah.
we can use this statement for integer also. Like if we use 1, 2, 3, so
Hmm. So you want to use 1, 2, 3 in the place of PQR.
yes,
That's it.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It is also 3 characters, no? One is a different character, 2 is a different character, 3 is a different character. But you have to specify 1, 2, 3 within the double quotations. If you place anything in the double quotations, that will calculate it as a character only, no? So you
So
can.
if we assign to integer value data type.
Okay, it will raise an error to you. How can you add an integer to a string? So it will raise a compilation error.
No, sir, not string. I'm saying that if we assign a value of integer in data type integer, and then
Hmm.
after we count
No,
the
no, no,
numbers in this.
no, no. So yeah, I got it. So you want to count the length of a character, the length of the integer variable by using this length, no?
Yes, sir.
No, no, you can't. So the length is a method which is only for the strings. If you want to count the number of characters in a integer or in a float value or in a something, so we have to write a method which we write earlier, no? So yesterday we wrote one particular code, no? So to calculate the
Yes, sir.
digits, you have
Yes,
to
sir.
use that particular strategy only. You can't use length method to calculate the length of a integer. So you can't. So length is a method which is only for the string method. Yes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Very good. Any doubts in the 10? I mean these 10 questions. So I concentrated only on the basics part, but in a different manner. The syntax is different, the coding is a different thing. Okay, you have to work like this only. So then only your problem solving skills will improve. Then only you can appear for the SCJP exam. So target on the SCJP. Okay, so if you want, so like if you want to buy any Java book for this practice to know these concepts, okay, so better to go with the Katie Sera. So many of you people go with a complete reference of Java, which we, okay, so which we discussed in our academics. Okay, so complete reference of a Java best for academics, not for a development. Okay, so if you want to buy any book for Java, better to buy the book of Katie Sera. I forgot her spelling. Sera, yeah, Katie Sera Java. Okay, so which is a 1200 or something. Okay, Katie Sera is the one lady, so she wrote one book. Okay, so she is the one who the woman behind the SCJP. Okay, she introduced the SCJP exam to the world. Okay, Sun Certified Java Programmer. So if you want to crack SCJP, if you want to improve your problem solving skill, if you want to okay, develop your Java thing, I mean develop Java thing. Okay, so you have to go with Katie Sera book. Okay, Head First Java by Katie Sera, I think. Okay, Katie Sera. So I think which is a 1500 to 2000, which may cost around Katie Sera. Okay, so better to go with this book. I think I mean, so by using torrents you can download the PDF also. Okay, so if you are familiar with the torrents. Okay, so do you know libgen.is? Libgen. So Libgen is a one website where you can download any type of books. Okay, you can download any type of book here. Okay, for example, I want to type so Katie Sarah name, Kathy Sarah. Okay, see, so you can download the any Java book by Katie Sarah. Katie Sarah Sunset Java Programmer Java 2 Study Guide, okay, which is a second edition. So you can download this particular by using, okay, so LibGen. By using libgen.is, you can download any book from Amazon, okay, which is a soft copy. Okay? So you don't get a hard copy, you will get a soft copy. So better to remember this website, libgen.is. Anybody knows this? Anybody
No,
had
sir.
anything? Okay.
No,
So
sir.
you need to install torrents, okay? So you have to work with torrents if you want to download anything from LibGen. But please take care while downloading any particular thing from this folder, because it is a completely maintained by torrents now. So there is a maybe choice for downloading anonymous content. Okay, so you may be downloaded viruses as well. So please take care while downloading anything from the LibGen. Okay, LibGen is one of the best website to download any soft copy of a website. Okay, you can download any type of soft copy from this particular website. Okay, libgen.is. So I pasted the link in the chat window, you can go through. But please take care while downloading anything from the libgen. Okay, so there may be hackers. Okay, so maybe your data may be tracked. So please take care. Yeah. So best book for Java is by Katie Sarah. Okay, so any book written by Katie Sarah is the good one. You can buy any book. Okay, so please check for the author of the book. Okay, Katie Sarah. This is the best for Java. So don't buy any complete reference. Don't work on the complete references Java. Okay, so it only best for academics, not for the development. Okay, yeah, that's what I want to say. So where we are, what we have to discuss. What is the last concept that we discussed yesterday? So we are working on the Armstrong number and all, right? Is it okay? Like Armstrong number, everyone got that? Or did you find any doubt, or do you have any difficulty in anything in Armstrong number or in a while loop? Can I start do well now? Or do you have any issues, or do you have any doubts in a while loop or for loop? Because while loop and for loop are the entry controlled loops. If you have any doubts, okay, please let me know. Okay. So shall I start? Do while.
Yes, sir.
So do while. Yeah. So anyone that wants to add anything to do while? What is the do while? What is the use of do while? Opinions are welcome, always welcome. Yeah, you can.
It files the code first, then check the condition.
Okay. So in the do while, yes, we have in the do while we have a block of code, okay, which is assigned with the do keyword. Okay. So you can use this do while, okay, as a exit control. Okay, like unlike a while loop and for loop, the do while checks for the condition at the end of the body of the loop. Okay, so for example, again message use print either condition is true or not. Okay, very good job. Okay, so we have two types of statements in the do while. Okay, one is do, which is a block of code, and another one while. So where we can check for the condition to exit from the body of the loop. Okay, so if you want to execute a body of a loop at least once, okay, so if you want to execute anything, okay, at least once, even the condition is failed. Okay, even the condition is failed, you want to execute the body of the loop at least once. In that type of situations, you have to use do while. Okay, because do while is a exit control loop, but while loop and for loop is a entry controlled loops. Okay, so that means that this do while executes at least once, because the condition is checked after the body of the loop. After the body of loop only, we are checking the condition. After the body of the loop only, we are checking for the condition. And the greatest difference between while loop and a dual loop, in the while loop, you can't use a semicolon at the while statement. In the while loop, you can't use semicolon. If you use semicolon, the loop won't execute because you are terminating the statement at very beginning. So you can't use a semicolon at while statement in the while loop. But in the do while, you must use a semicolon at a while statement because it is the ending of a loop. After this particular condition, there is a no thing about the loop. Okay, this is the ending in the do while, but in the while loop, okay, while is the beginning statement, so you can't use a semicolon there. But here you have to use semicolon for sure. Okay, so remember the things. when we want to when we want to execute a block of code at least once, even the condition is false. Okay? The condition is false. Okay, so false because while checks the condition at ending of the block, ending of. So do while is a exit control statement. Even for onto the entry control. Because I mean, in the while loop and for loop, we are checking the condition before beginning the loop only, right? But in the do while, we are checking the condition after the block of code. So that is why do is a exit controlled loop. Okay, write this as a syntax. Okay, so this is the basic syntax of while loop. So let's write a basic program, okay, based on the while loop. So I'm writing something like class print numbers public static void name. Okay, so before that we need to write statements, and I reviewed many people's code yesterday. I reviewed many people's code, but no one maintaining, very few people, like 2 to 3 people maintaining the comments in the code. You have to maintain the comments for sure. Okay, if you find any if you didn't find any comments, and if you write anything in the within the main method, okay, I can't give you the score. Okay, for every lab report we are maintaining some score. Okay, so I can see your code by using your GitHub. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you to push your code into the GitHub. If I didn't find any folder or any code on particular the lab day, I mean which I gave, okay, so I can't give you the score based on the score of a lab report and based on the score of assessment report. Okay, we are giving you some marks, like so here you can see remarks red, amber, green. Okay, so I have to write the remarks here, okay, based on your performance in the both lab day and the both assessments. Okay, so the people who got only the green color, okay, will directly has an assessment with Capgemini. Okay, so after completion, okay, after completion of um, core Java, after core Java collections package and SQL and JDBC part. JDBC, so Java database connectivity part. Okay, after completion of these four things, I think JUnit also. Okay, so give me a minute, I can write it for you. We have interim assessment with Capgemini. Okay, Capgemini. Okay, So after completion of core Java concepts, including hooks, okay, and the collections and SQL and JDBC part and JUnit part. Okay, JUnit for testing. After completion of these things, okay, you will have an assessment with Capgemini. Okay, so those people who has only green color, okay, those people who has green color, okay, will have the assessment with you will face this assessment. Okay, so the people who qualified in this internal assessment will eligible, okay, for a Capgemini interview, so which is a very very important. Okay, so we can place in Capgemini with a minimum of 4 lakhs as a associate developer, not as a associate support engineer or something. You will be going into a development sector. Okay, so in your campus placement, like if you placed in your campus placements now, okay, so you will be getting a role as a associate role or a support role or system analyst. Okay, you will be having these types of roles. If you are placing with Anudeep, okay, you will definitely into a development setup. Okay, so in the development, so you will be, work as a junior developer. Okay, so better to concentrate on this course. Trust me, my friends. Okay, this content is especially for Capgemini and especially designed by Capgemini. Okay, so please concentrate on these things. Okay, please concentrate on the lab part and please concentrate on the daily assessments, because we are having all the proofs now, so I can't manipulate any marks or any color for you. I can't do any favorisms because we are having proofs. Okay, so better to concentrate on this particular course. Okay, so yeah, so if you fail in the internal assessment, it is completely okay. You are having so much content with you now. After these particular contents, after internal assessment, you have to complete one project with Hibernate. So we have to complete a Hibernate and Spring Boot along with Angular. Okay, this content is so much heavy. I mean, definitely you will place as a developer for sure if you having these contents in your resume. Even okay, so if you are already passed out of a degree, like if you take a 6 months of rest, then apply with a fake experience. Okay, so if you have a experience of 1 year with these technologies, definitely you will be placed at a minimum of 7 to 8 lakhs for sure if you have only 1 year of experience with these technologies. Okay, so the people who are passed out from 2020 or 2019 are uh, uh, are you can use the fake experience. Okay, and you can place. So better to concentrate on the course. Okay, this content is so much heavy, very good content it is. There is a lot of content to explore now. So if you like, if you are familiar with these technologies, if minimum, if you perform, if you design 2 to 3 projects at least in this particular, okay, with this particular technologies, definitely you will place. I can promise you. Okay, so better to
Okay, sir.
concentrate on the course. There is so much to explore. We are just in core Java. After core Java, we have to work on the collections. Then we have to work on the SQL, JDBC, then JUnit. Do you know JUnit? Do you have any idea on JUnit and all? JUnit is used to perform the testing. Okay. So JDBC, SQL, Hibernate, and Spring Boot is for the backend technology. These are the backend technologies, and Angular is the front-end technology. Okay. So you will have a content of full stack developer here, full stack Java developer. Okay. So better to concentrate on the assessment, everyday assessment. Okay. So after that, and better to concentrate on the practice also. Okay, so try to push the code in the GitHub as early as possible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, last time I can meet for 2 or 3 minutes. Sir.
Okay. So and Suraj,
End of class. Yes, sir.
yeah, I didn't get your answer sheets, right?
Sir, actually, I will message with you. So I am
Yeah,
fever
you have
या
a
other.
fever,
So
you know.
yeah. So something as a problem, so I can proper attend for class and other. So today I will, as a health is good, so it will manage for 2 days.
Yeah.
So as a
So
last time we will talk to for that related.
okay, it's completely okay.
This today the class to, end of 5 minutes to give me.
Hmm. And one thing I can say is it is a completely like a rainy season, no? So please take care of your health. There is a lot of possibility for getting a fever, some viral fevers and that. So please take care of your health. Okay.
Just sir,
So
cold area.
health is more important than all these things. Without health, we can't do anything, right? So better to concentrate on the health as well. So health is so important. It is a rainy season. There is a lot of possibility to get a fever. So please take care. Hmm. Yeah. So I went to some plans. Yeah. So we are writing a one dual loop now. So write now some comments. Program, print, okay, numbers using dual. In the dual part, I am declaring one variable. Okay, int I equal to 0. Okay, I want to print the numbers within 0 to 20. So after block of code, println, we can print I. Okay, so after completion of block of code, we have to increment the value. Okay, we need to repeat now. We have to increment the value now for iterating the loop. So increment the value here I plus plus, and now we need to check for the value. While we have to execute this particular loop while I less than or equal to 20 only. After I mean, if while the I value is more than 20, we want to exit from the loop. So array, sorry, if I value less than or equal to 20, okay, we can execute. If I value is more than 20, we can exit from the loop. Okay, so save this program and run. Programs and 26, something like do while or print numbers. Yeah, we use print numbers. Print numbers dot Java and run this code. Java space print numbers dot Java. So it is a command to compile and run at a time. Okay. So enter and we got the output 0 to 20 numbers. Okay. So write a comments now. Printing numbers. Okay. Increment to iterate. Iterate values. Okay. So better to write a comments like this. Okay. See. So at the end of the while loop, we are using a some semicolon. But when we are using the while loop, you can't use a semicolon, no? Because it is a block of code. But here it is just a statement. While is just a statement in do while, but while is a block of code in while loop. Okay, those are the different things. In the while loop, we are checking for the condition at the beginning of the body, beginning of the loop. But here we are checking for the condition after completion of the body. Okay, so that's why we can say do while is a exit control loop and while is a entry control loop. We are restricting the entry into the block of code. Here we are restricting the exit. Okay, so this is all you need to understand the while loop and do while loop. Okay, so do you have any idea between the differences of for loop, while loop and do while loop? Are you clear with the differences between for, while and do while? Or do you have any confusion or do you have any doubt in for while and do while? What can I understand with this silence? Come on. Hello, guys.
No confusion, sir.
Sandeep?
Yes, sir. No confusion, sir.
Okay. Okay. So can I ask you few questions? No? So what is the difference between for and while? Anyone? The difference between for and while loop, and I don't want to listen from the regular guys. I want to listen from people who are silent. Mm. Okay, Pretty Man is there. Hi, Pretty Man. Priyanshu, no Sharma. Where is Bharta? And Ritika, Shika Sharma, Bharta. So anyone? Any of you three? So what is the difference between for loop and while loop? Or what is the similarities between for loop and while loop? Shika Sharma, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is the similarities between for loop and while loop?
So similarities.
Hmm.
See, difference is like that. Like in for loop we enter control loop, and for while loop we also enter some control loops.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're saying for loop and while loop are both are the entry controlled. That's what you're
Control
saying.
loop. Yes.
Okay. Very good. What is the difference? Difference between for loop and while loop. Okay. Someone other than Shika. Someone raise your hand. Day. You're regular, man. I don't want to listen from Gintan or Sandeep or something. I want to listen from people who are silent in the session. Ritika. Ritika and Prashant is new to the class. Okay, we can't ask Prashant for that. And Neetu. Neetu, are you there? Neetu Prajapati. So what is the difference? Ritika, yes, you can. Unmute and respond. Shika Sharma message. The for loop is the only one. We already know the number of iterations. Very good. Which is a more faster in the three loops? We have a three loops now. For loop, while loop, do while loop. Which is a more faster?
Sir, for loop.
Yeah, for
Loop.
loop is a more faster. Very good. So what is the difference between while and do while? While and do while. Anyone can answer.
Basic
While
difference
is
were to tell us
entry,
that
Hmm.
while
Yes,
is
please.
entry control and do while is exit control.
Yes, very good. While is a entry control, do while is a exit control. Yes, Rahul, you want to add something?
Sir, in do while we need to use terminator after
Mm-hmm.
a condition, in while we don't use terminator.
No. Very good. Very good. Yes. So that's what we are discussing. So while loop, I mean, when you are writing a while loop, you can't use a semicolon. That means you can't use a terminator for that. But when you are writing a do while, you can use the terminator. You must use a terminator in do while, like a while block, because that is the end of the statement. While is the end of the statement in do while. So you have to use the semicolon for sure. Here we have to use the semicolon for sure. Okay. Yeah. So we are done with jumping statements, total control statements. Okay, so we had a discussion on conditional statements, and we had a discussion on iterations, looping structures, and we already had a discussion on jumping statements as well. Okay, we discussed about break and continue and return now. So are you guys clear with all the control statements? I think from the last 3 to 4 days we are discussing only about the control statements and all. If you find any difficulty or if you find any doubt, you can. Okay. Yes. If you in every loop, if you has only one line of statements, there is no need of writing a block. because you have only one line of statement. When you are having a multiple lines of statements, you have to write a block. I mean, you have to use the brackets for sure, obviously. Yeah. So we are done with control statements. Now we have to work on the arrays. Okay, arrays. So do you know what is an array?
So array is something that is store the data for variable.
Okay, yes, Divya.
Sir, array is something like a set of homogeneous elements of
Okay.
same data type.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Homogeneous or same data type. Okay. Anything? Yeah. Anybody want to add anything about arrays? An array is a collection of similar data elements stored on a continuous memory location. Oh, so many technical stuff. Okay. So we need, like, first of all, we need to understand what is a contiguous memory location, what is a non-contiguous memory location. Then we need to, I mean, express those things. Okay. Yeah. So it is an end of a particular concept, no? So just had a break, okay, for 15 minutes. After coming from the break, we have to work on the arrays. Okay. So we have to write so many programs with arrays. Okay. So let's write it today. So the people are very familiar with the arrays. Okay. So generally, I mean, in C language or in C++, okay, array is a collection of similar types of elements, collection of similar types of data elements, or collection of similar type of values, we can say. Okay. But when we are discussing about Java array, okay, in Java, array is not a normal variable. Okay, array is an object. Okay, array is an object. So we have to create a object first, then we have to initialize the values. Okay, so array is a object which is used to store the multiple values. Okay, which is used to store multiple values of a same data type. Okay, so Java array is an object. Okay, so is an object, okay, which stores or manipulates or retrieve, which stores, manipulate or retrieve the elements of same data type. Java is an object which stores or manipulates or retrieve the elements of same data type. Okay, so here we have to mention one important point. Okay, so Java array, okay, uses contiguous memory location. So contiguous, I think I can write this. Yes, memory allocation technique. Okay, technique to store the values. Java uses contiguous memory allocation technique to store the data values in the memory. Okay, so now we have to understand one important thing which we mentioned here is what is a contiguous memory allocation. So do you know contiguous memory allocation? I think you guys are all from the computer science background. I think you have operating systems in your academics. Do you have operating system subject in your academics?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in your operating systems, there is a concept called memory management, right? There is a concept called memory management by operating system. I mean, in the operating system, generally in our academy, in the operating system, okay, we will have a different concepts like process management, okay, time management, file management, control of hardware and software. Okay, we will have these types of, I mean, things in our operating system subject. Okay, there in file management there is one important technique. Okay, so operating system is used to store the data values, or operating system is used to store the different process in a different types of memory techniques. Okay, in Java, I mean not only in Java or not only in Windows operating system, in the entire world, okay, there is a two types of techniques to store a particular element or a particular file in a database or in a storage. Okay, if you want to store one particular file in a storage of, assume you are having a 2 TB of storage. Okay, you want to place one particular file. Okay, you want to place one particular image file. Assume you want to store one image of yours. Okay, in a your 2 TB of hard disk. Okay, so operating system follows two types of techniques to store your image file in the hard disk. Okay, those two techniques are, one is contiguous memory allocation technique, otherwise non-contiguous memory allocation technique. Okay, contiguous memory allocation and non-contiguous memory allocation. Okay, so to explain these things, okay, let me draw something from the wall. So generally operating system divides, okay, uh, divides a hard disk or SSD, okay, divides our storage device, okay, into different blocks of elements. Okay, so assume this table is a your hard disk. Assume this table is your hard disk. Okay, so operating system helps you to devise these number of blocks. Okay, operating system divides the, okay, entire hard disk into different blocks. Okay, so I think in your computer and your laptop you have a different blocks, like a, you have a local disk C, you have a local disk B, you have a local disk E. Okay, we are having the, so different types of locations in our computer, right, to store our files. Okay, so that helps you, I mean, so that helps you to store the elements in a different locations. Okay, so as similar to that, assume this table is a, okay, one hard disk, and we divided that hard disk into different blocks. Okay, so if you store your image file, okay, assume you are having a image one. Okay, image one is your something, your image. Okay, so assume you are having one image and you want to store another image in another block. Okay, so image 3, image 4, image 5. Okay, we store 5 different images in 5 different blocks. Okay, we store 5 different images in 5 different blocks. Okay, so by using this particular technique, okay, so we are wasting so much memory here. Okay, we are wasting so much memory because in the contiguous memory location, okay, so the blocks of this particular columns will be, okay, wasted for some time, because if you want to store another file, you have to go through the all this row, and after, I mean, after completion of the row only, you have to go through the another row. Okay, so this is how we have to store a, image files in a contiguous memory location. Okay, in the contiguous memory location, you have to store your files in a one sequence manner. After completion of one block, I mean one row of a block, okay, you have to go to the next row. Okay, so this technique is meant by the contiguous memory location. So this will, I mean, this will reduce your time of accessing the content, but this, I mean, the main disadvantage of this contiguous memory location is wasting of a memory, because we are wasting the different types of blocks to store the accessing objects. Okay, so this is a contiguous memory location. If you store different types of files in a sequence manner in your computer, okay, that technique is known as a contiguous memory location. Yeah, similar to that, Java stores, okay, array elements in this a contiguous memory location. For example, Java store array elements in different things. Like if you having an integer array, assume you are having a one integer array, you want to store, okay, those integer in a, okay, I mean those integer in your hard disk. Okay, so Java interpreter stores it, I mean like this. Okay, so 15, 12, 25, 6, 9, something. Okay, so here we are, I mean Java array following the concept of contiguous memory location. Okay, that means all the elements of array, okay, stored in a one particular sequence. Okay, so Java always works on the contiguous memory allocation, but in we have a collections, no? I mean, in Java we have a collections like linked list, double linked list. Okay, okay. So we have a maps, a tree map, hash table. We have a different things like that in our collection package. Even by using those concepts, okay, if you want to store, okay, so hash map in your hard disk, okay, so there you have to follow. I mean, our operating system like our Java compiler or interpreter stores those hash map or those tree map in a non-contiguous manner. Okay, that I mean non-contiguous is nothing but not a sequence. Okay, so I mean Java interpreter doesn't maintain any sequence to store a hash map, but here Java interpreter stores, okay, all the elements of an array in one particular sequence. That is meant by the, okay, contiguous memory allocation. Okay, if you are having any collection packages with you, if you want to store those collection packages in your laptop or I mean in your hard disk, okay, it will take the non contiguous memory allocation techniques. Okay, but when you are using Java arrays, we have to use contiguous memory allocation techniques. Okay, so that's a Java arrays. Okay, stores the elements in one particular sequence. Okay, you can't access a Java elements by tracing only particular things. Okay, so this is one point you have to remember for sure. And I mean, when we are discussing Java arrays, we have to discuss one particular important point. Okay, the size of Java array, the size of Java array is fixed. Once you declare one particular array with some elements, like you declared one array, okay, you declared one array with 5 elements, okay, so you can't increase the size of an array after declaring. Okay, so the size of a Java array is completely fixed. You can't improvise it. You can't extend the size of an array after declaration. You have to create an array, okay, with a specified size when you are creating array only. Okay, once you declare the array, okay, you can't improve the size of an array. Okay, so this is the main disadvantage of Java arrays. Okay, size of Java array is completely fixed. You can't extend the size of Java array. Okay, if you want to extend, okay, size of a Java array, okay, you can use a array list. Okay, in Java we have a array list, we have a linked list, and we have a tree list. Okay, you can use those topics to store your array. Okay, so size of Java array list. Okay, so don't confuse the things. Size of array list is not fixed. The size of array list is not fixed, but size of array, we are discussing about only arrays here. Okay, size of arrays are fixed. Once you declare an array with a specific size, you can't improve the size. You can't increase the size. Okay, so but when we are using the Java array list, you can increase the size. But I mean, so you declare a size, I mean array with the 5 elements. After that, okay, so you want to increase the 5 more spaces in your array. Yeah, you can extend the size of an array in array list, but not in the array. Okay, so if anybody asks you about what is the size of array, okay, size of the array is fixed, okay, in Java, but size of an array list is not fixed in Java. Okay, remember the things, don't confuse. Okay, so these are the basic things that we have to, okay, know about arrays. And yeah, I forgot one point. So in Java arrays works, okay, on the basis of index based structure. Index based syntax. Okay, Java arrays works on index based syntax. Okay, so generally, like in database, okay, so assume you are having a one you want to store one particular elements. Okay, so there is a two types of techniques to store elements in the arrays. Like in JavaScript, we can store the arrays as an objects. Okay, so objects have a So objects are stored in the basis of key value pairs. Okay. So in Java, we can store elements in two different formats. Okay. So either index-based search, okay, or in a key value based syntax. Okay. But Java arrays are index-based, not a key value based. Okay. For example, okay, in JavaScript, I'm telling you in JavaScript. Okay. So JS equal to, okay, you can store the values like, so something like username, was, and domain, Java feature. Okay, so you want to store these things in a array. So I mean, this is meant by a object in JavaScript. Okay, so if you want to print a basket, you have to use the key. Okay, so here the key value is username. Username is the key, and the value is basket. Here, domain is the key, and the value is Java full stack. If you want to print Java full stack on the screen, you have to use this particular key. Okay, so either you have to work on the key value based syntax or index based syntax. Okay, so here in our Java we are not using key value based syntax, we are using index based syntax. For example, okay, you can store these things like in AR. Okay, so in AR we can store the elements like this. So basket and full stack. Okay. So if you want to print Bhaskar, okay, from this type of syntax, if you want to print Bhaskar, okay, you have to use the, okay, index. Okay, how can you use the index? Like array of 0. Okay, you are already know. So array starts from 0. If you want to print Bhaskar, you have to use the index. In this case, okay, in this case, if you want to print Bhaskar, you have to use, okay, something like js.username. Okay. So this is the key value based syntax, and this is the index based syntax. In Java, okay, in arrays, we are following the index based syntax only. We are not concentrating on the key value based syntax. Okay, so I mean, completely we have two types of syntaxes. One is index based syntax and another one is key value based syntax. Okay, in our Java arrays, we are following only index based syntax, not a key value based syntax. Okay, so that's why I wrote the point here. So in Java arrays, okay, Java arrays works on a index based syntax, and Java index starts from, not sorry, it's not a Java index, it's an array index. Array index starts from 0. Okay, array index starts from the 0. Okay, these are the three important points that you should be aware when you are learning about arrays. Okay, so Java array is an object which stores or manipulates or retrieve the elements of same data type, and okay, Java array is used to Java array is used contiguous memory allocation technique to store the values. Okay, and the second point is size of the Java array is completely fixed. You can't extend the size of the Java array. Okay, so coming to the third important point, okay, Java arrays works on a index based syntax. Okay, and array index starts from the 0, not from 1. Okay, if you are a programmer, you must know this. Okay, index always starts from 0. Okay, so our number should be always starts from 0, not from a 1. The first number is 0 in programming. It can be programming, whatever it is, like C, Java, Python, JavaScript, anything. Okay, the number should be started from 0 only, not from a 1. Okay, so remember these things. Okay, so are you guys clear with all these 3 points? Java array used contiguous memory allocation technique. Second one, size of Java array is fixed. And the third one, Java arrays works on the index based syntax. Are you guys clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? No, sir. So right now we need to create one particular array. Okay, so you can create an array by using any data type. Like if you want to store a string type of values, yeah, you can create an array of strings. Okay, so if you want to create an array of integers, yeah, you can create an array of integers. Okay, you can create any type of okay, you can any type of an array. Okay, so here we have to create one particular value. Okay, so int a equal to, actually the syntax of Java array is int a equal to int of such particular length, like int of 5. Okay, so this is an actual syntax of array. No? This is the actual syntax of an array, because array is a object. I already told you array is an object. So here the object name of an array is a. Okay, so see, we are creating an array by using the object syntax now. So I mean, when we are creating an object for scanner class or object for our class, we are creating by using a class name space object name is equal to new class name and so on. So okay, similarly, as similar to that, we have to create a Java array by using this particular syntax. But as updates came into the light, okay, Java 7 after Java 8 and after Java 10 and all after, okay, so updates coming, okay, so we can create an array without initiating it. Okay, so either we can create an array like this, or we can create an array by using something like, so 10, 5, 12, 3, 61, 86, like this. Okay, this is also a Java array. Okay, if you want to declare a Java array along with the values, you can declare this particular syntax. Okay, otherwise if you want to initialize first, you have to use this syntax. Okay, so this is the initialization of a Java array, and this is the creation of Java array. Okay, so when you want to pass at the values of an array at the time of creation, you can use this syntax. Okay, when you want to initialize array, then you want to pass any elements to the array, then you have to use this particular syntax. Okay, so this is an array initialization, and this is an array values passing at the time of creation. Okay, both are okay, very similar. Okay, so there is no difference in creating such things. Okay, both are very similar structures. Okay, let's have a look on these particular things. Okay, yeah, so something, working on arrays. Class Java array. Let's write something line. Start. Okay. So I want to create one array. Okay, a are equal to, I want to create an array by passing the values. Okay, so 15, 20, 21, any random values. Okay, so if I want to print 20 on the screen, how can I print 20 on the screen? By using this array. How to print 20? To print 20 on the screen.
So one.
Yeah, so as I told you earlier, Java index starts from 0, no? So 15th is the 0th element, and 20 is the first, 2 is second, and 136 is the third, and 7 is the fourth element. Okay, we stored 5 elements, but the minimum index, okay, the minimum index of this particular array is 0, and the maximum index of this particular array is 4. Okay, so 4, no, so 15 is 0, and 21, and 2 in third character, and 136, okay, in third, and 7 in a fourth. Okay, but let me write here 15 at 0, 20 at 1, and 2 at 2, obviously, and 136 at 3, and 7 at 4th position. Okay, so this is how the elements of an array is stored. Now we want to print, okay, 20 na. So what is the index of 20 here? What is the index? 20 stored at first position. So we have to use the index. Java arrays are index based things now. So array of 1. Okay, so we want to print the index of 1. Okay, so store this element. Java array of Java. Java space Java array dot Java. See, we got 20 on the screen because we are printing, okay, index of 1. Okay, so 20 is stored at a 1 position, so that's why, okay, 20 is printed. Okay, what if I want to print 136? What I have to write here? I want to print 136 on the screen.
3.
3.
3. Very good. We got 3 because we use the index 3. Okay, now I want to change the value of 136 to something else. Okay, I want to change the value of 136 into something like 183. Okay, so how to change the value of one particular element in the array? Okay, so we are using array index to print the elements. Okay, so we are using array index to print the elements, and also we can use the array index to manipulate the elements. Okay, for example, if you want to change the value of third position, okay, if you want to change the value of third position, you have to use index as well. Okay, by using index only you can change that. So we are overriding the value here. Okay, we are changing the value array of 3. Okay, so in the place of 136 we are storing 183. Okay, so 183 overrides 136. Okay, let's check for it. See, we got 183. We got 183 on the screen. Okay, so if you want to manipulate any element in the array, you have to use the index only. Okay, so index to change the element value. Okay, so this is how you need to work with the index. Okay, so are you guys clear by changing the values, how we changing the value, and how we do stuff? Is it okay? This is the basic syntax of an array. Okay, so we already defined some array now, like we already defined one particular array like 15, 22 and this same. Okay, so now I want to read the value of an array from the user. Okay, now I want to read the value of an array from the user. Like if user gave 5, okay, length of 5, so we have to read 5 characters from the user. Okay, so how to read 5 elements, okay, from the user? We have to work on it. Okay, in that type of situations you have to use the, okay, object format array. Okay, this type of format we have to follow when we want to read any value from the any array value from the user. Okay, so let's write the things. Okay, so sorry. So before reading the values, I want to print all the values of an array. Okay, how to print all the values of an array? I want to print all the values. Here I am printing only the third value, no? So I want to print all the values. Can I write like this? Okay. I want to print all the values of an array on the screen. How to print?
Using
How
for
to
loop, sir.
using for loop. Why? Why you need to use for loop?
Sir, because all the values will be printed one by one by using for loop
Okay. So yeah.
with the help of index number, because we use index in array.
Okay. Okay. So we are using index. So okay. So in the for loop we have to initialize. We have to write the condition. We have to implement the values. Now, so okay. Just guide me to write the for loop here. We are already aware of the things. Okay. So which is we have to initialize I equal to 0 because we have a okay 0th number. Okay, we are starting array from 0, so and I'm declaring I here int I. Okay, so what is the condition to write here? So we need to print some values, no, of an array. So what is the condition we have to write here? And we have to perform I plus plus in the place of so till here everything is clear for everyone, I think so. Okay, so what is the I mean what is the condition for right? We need to check for a condition until some certain point. We need to change the values until a certain time occurs, until end of the array. Okay, so how can we write the condition here to iterate over the array?
Sir, I should be less than 5.
I should be less than 5. Okay, what if I increase the value
First,
to,
we need to,
sorry?
and either we can give the size of the array,
Okay, how
while
to,
we are defining it or initializing it, or otherwise we can find the size from the method.
okay,
Then we
so
have
how,
size,
okay, size method,
dot size
okay,
method.
okay, so can you guide me, Rupa? Correct. So here I have to write I,
We have to first initialize something like some integer in which we can store the size of the array.
okay,
Actually,
so I'm using len, okay, len. So in the len, I want to store the size of an array. Yeah, let's go.
len is equals to ar dot size. I guess this is the right definition or not. Dot size, I guess.
Okay, very good. But it's not a size, it's a length. Okay, we can use the length. Okay, so we have to run the loop up to len. So I less than equal to len. We can get the length of an array by using array name dot length. Okay, so just so let's comment out all the things. Dot out dot println. I want to print the value of an array. I mean size of an array by using array dot length method. I want to comment this. Okay. So can you guess the output now? What is the output? So I took one particular thing here. See. Okay, so as per Rusa, okay, I declared len variable as an integer. In the len variable, I am storing the length of an array. Array dot length. Array dot length is used to store length of an array. Okay, after reading the length of an array, I want to print that length in the command prompt. Okay, so that's why I write this. Okay, so can you guess the output of this code?
So
Sir,
six.
7.
7 or 6?
7, sir.
Six, sir.
Okay, so we got 7.
7.
So okay, because see, so size is different than index. Okay, so totally we have 7 elements in the array now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Got it, sir.
Okay, so it is the number of elements. Okay, length returns the number of elements of that array. Okay, so length is not equal to I mean index. Okay, so that's why it returns 7. Okay, we have 7 elements in the array, so that's why it's printed 7 on the screen. Okay, so if you want to print, okay, maximum index, what is the maximum index of this particular array now? What is the maximum index of this array? Obviously the minimum index is 0 because the array starts from 0, that we already know. Okay, what is the maximum index of this particular array? How can you know?
7.
6.
6.
6, sir.
Yeah, the maximum index should be the length minus 1 because we are printing the values from 0. Okay, so we are printing the values from 0. So the maximum index of a 7 array length of 7 is 6. Okay, so anytime the maximum index is length minus 1. Okay, if you have a 8 elements in array, so the maximum index is 7. Okay, if you have a 10 elements in array, the maximum index is 9. Okay, so every time you have to check till length minus 1 only. So that's why I am writing, okay, length I less than or equal to length. See, so for example, I mean length has a 7 now, and we are running the loop till 7. Okay, so if 7, I mean I value 7, we have to exit because we write only length minus, I mean less than symbol. Na? So this particular loop works till, okay, I equal to 6. If I equal to 7, we have to terminate the loop because we are using less than symbol here. I less than or equal to 7, I mean I less than or equal to 7, that means, okay, so till 6, okay, till I equal to 6 we can print the values because, okay, the maximum index of this particular array is 6. Okay, so if you write like this, okay, what happen if you write like this? I am using less than or equal to, that means, okay, 7 is also okay. Okay, 7 is less than or equal to 7, so it is a true. Okay, so if you write like this, it will raise an error. Okay, so if you write like this, 7 less than or equal to 7, when you are printing an array, it will raise an error because, okay, so we are printing the value still 6 because the maximum index is 6, so we have to run the loop till 6 only. Okay, so we can't write for a 7 because the maximum index of an array is length minus 1, so that's why you have to run this particular thing till less than n. Okay, if you write equal to, you have to write length minus 1. Okay, so both are equal. Na? I less than or equal to length and I less than or equal to length minus 1 is both are similar. Are you okay with my point? I less than or equal to length, oh sorry, I less than length and I less than or equal to length minus 1 is both are similar or not?
Yes, sir.
These both
Yes,
conditions
sir.
are similar. Okay, these both conditions are similar. Na? So you can use either less than or equal to length minus 1 or less than length. Okay, anything is okay here. Okay, so just save this code and run. So we need to use the index now. Right. So we have to change the index of I value for every time. So CLS. See, we got the elements. And 7 is the size of an array, and we got the 7 elements in an array by using this particular thing. So every time if you want to read, okay, or if you want to print, okay, so you have to write a for loop for an array. Okay, this is how you need to write for loop for an array. Okay, for so many people, okay, like it is a difficult to write now, it is a difficult to write all these conditions, right? When we are printing the values, we are just printing the values. Okay, we are not reading the values, just we are printing the values of an array by using the for loop. So why we are writing all the, you know, initialization, condition checking, increment and decrement in this all? Okay, in Java I already told you we have a one special for loop. Okay, did you remember I told you, no, when we are discussing about for loop, I told you about for each loop. We can discuss this for each loop in arrays. Did I told to you for each loop? In Java, we have a one special loop which is a for each loop. In for when you are using a for each loop, no need to writing all these conditions. Okay, no need to write all these conditions. You can just declare one dummy variable. I is a dummy variable which is a type of integer because array is having the integer types of values. Okay, we can print the values by using this for loop. Okay, so we are referencing one dummy variable to array. Okay, we are referencing one dummy variable to array and we can print this dummy variable. Okay, so this dummy variable iterate over the array until the last, I mean until the last element. When the last element printed on the screen, it will automatically terminate. Okay, This is meant by the Java for each loop. Okay, for each loop. For each loop is used to print the Java array values. Okay, you can't read the values by using this for each loop. Okay, but you can print the values by using this for each loop. Okay, you can easily print the values. Okay, so let's check for this and let's remove all these things. Okay, see, I declared one array and I am writing okay for each loop. So we can print array values by using for each loop. So we have to declare one dummy variable. So you have to declare I value here only. Okay, I is a dummy variable for us. Okay, so that's why you have to print. See, we got the array values. So no need to write the condition, no need to write the increment, no need to initialize the value. We just took the one dummy variable, and by referencing that dummy variable to an array, and we can print the dummy variable. So the dummy variable, okay, iterate over the array. It creates internal iteration over the array, and it automatically prints the values of an array. Very easy. Okay, so this is very easy, writing the simple for loop. Okay, we have a simple for loop which having the four steps, so like initialization, condition checking, increment and decrement, then body of the loop. So no need of all this stuff. When you are printing the values of an array, okay, you can use this for each loop. Okay, in for each loop we have to reference one dummy variable to the array. Okay, we are referring one dummy variable. I is a dummy variable here, and we are referencing to the array. Okay, name of an array, and you can't use a brackets when you are writing the array name. Okay, so you can't write like this. Okay, it's a mistake. Okay, you can't write this, and you have to write only the name of the array. Okay, so this is meant by Java for each loop. Okay, so when I am discussing about the types of for loop, I explained you about these things. Like I didn't explain, I think so. Okay, so I already told you about this. Okay, we have a for each loop. When we can discuss this for each loop in the arrays. I told you, I think so. Okay, so in for loop we have a different types of for loop. We have a simple for loop, we have a nested for loop, and we have a for each loop, and we have a infinity for loop, and we have a labeled for loop. We have a different types of loops, but when you are printing array values in Java, you can use, okay, you can use either simple for loop or a for each loop, but better to write a for each loop, no? So I mean, for each loop is more faster than the simple for loop because there is no conditions, there are no iterations, there is no increment and decrement operators and all. Okay, so compared to simple for loop, and for each is a bit faster because there is no condition to check. Okay, so this is how you need to print an array by using a for each loop. Okay, you have to refer one dummy variable to the array name, then it automatically iterates over the array. Okay, so is this okay to everyone for each loop?
Yes, sir.
What about others? So many silence, right? So much silence in the class. Aren't you getting the point?
Got it, sir.
What about girls? Yogesh, Ketan,
Yes, sir.
any doubt in writing the for each loop?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, so like we printed the array values by using the for each loop. Now it's time to read the values of an array from the user. Okay, it's time to read the values of an array by user's input. Okay, shall we read? Okay, so do you know how to read the values of an array by using by using command prompt or something? How to write a program? Do you have any idea? So we are printing the values by using a for loop now. So how to read the value then? Here we are declared one literal array. Okay, integer literal. Okay, we are using. But now I don't want to initiate the values of an array. Okay, I want to read the value of an array by using the user's input. Okay, so how to read? Any guesses for that? Just guess now. No? This one is silent. Right? Why this one is silent? Guys, are you getting the points now?
Your voice.
Sir, your audio is disturbed.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So let's read the values of an array by using the user. Okay, let's create an array. Just I want to first it's very important. Okay. So first, let me take the okay user's input. So I want to print system dot out dot println. Okay. So enter the size of an array. First, I want to read the size of an array from the user. Okay, I want to read size of an array from the user. Okay, size of an array. We are reading the size. So since we are reading, we need to import the scanner class. Import the Java scanner object. Now we need to create an object for scanner. Scanner is equal to new scanner. Okay. So after reading, I mean value. So int len equal to okay length of an array equal to okay we need to read the user's input here. So bs dot next int because it is an integer length must be an integer. Okay, length cannot be a float or something. Length must be an integer. Okay, so that's why I used the next int method. Okay, so after reading the user's input, okay, after reading the user's input, okay, we have to create an array, right? So we have to create an array of user specified length. Okay, user specified some length. Okay, we need to read, I mean we need to create an array of that particular size. Okay, let's create an array of that particular size. So here I am creating one array. Array is the name of an array. It's equal to new int, okay, is equal to new int of length. Okay, for example user gave 6. Okay, we have to create a array of length 6. If users gave 7, okay, we have to create a array length of 7. Okay, we have to create an array by using the length of an array which is given by the user first. Okay, so we successfully created an array by using the length of the array, okay, which is given by the user. Now I want to read the values of an array by using the user. Okay, so again println, and now I am printing enter array values. Okay, so I am printing something on the screen to read the values from the array. Okay, so see, we need to write a for loop because okay we need to okay initiate the values like this, like I mean array of 0 no. So in array of 0, okay, we want to store the first element, and in array of 1, we want to store second element. In array of 2, we want to use, I mean, third element. At array of 3, we want to store the fourth element. In the array of 4, okay, so we want to store the fifth element. Okay, we want to, we want to store the array elements like this in a contiguous memory location in a sequence manner. Na? So that's why we have to use one for loop here. Okay, so we have to use one for loop here, which is, which is very similar to the previous one. Okay, so since we have an I, so we have to start with the 0th index of an array. So that's why I used I equals 0. Then we need to work on the, okay, len. So len is a variable which is having the length of an array. Okay, so uh, I'm running the loop till length of an array. Okay, after this we have to print the I plus plus. I plus plus is denotes increment and which is used to iterate the for loop. Okay, now we have to use it to read the values. Okay, at array of I, we need to read the value ds dot next int. Okay, ds dot next int. We can't write a, okay, next int method for 7. So if user gave 5, we can't write a 5 next int methods now. So if user gave 6, okay, so we need to write 6 next input statement, next int methods. Okay, if user gave 8, we have to write 8 next int methods. So it is a very hectic to write based on the length. We need to write that much of input methods now. So that is why, so we are iterating the one particular method. Okay, we are iterating the next int method for multiple times. Okay, so we successfully read the values from the user. Okay, now I want to print the values of a array by using the for loop. Okay, system dot out dot println, and the array elements are, okay, I want to print the string. You have to mention it in the double quotations. Okay, now I don't want to use basic for loop, I want to use for each loop. Okay, in this case we need to create one dummy variable. So int j, and the array is the name. Okay, ar is the name of an array. Okay, so here we need to print the array values. So system dot out dot println. Okay, we need to print the value of j because j is a dummy variable which is a reference of array. Okay, so let's check for this. Let's run this code. Okay. See, we got an input. Okay, enter the size of an array. So I want to print 6 elements. I want to store 6 elements in the array. So I am giving 6. Okay, now we need to values now. So like the first value is my favorite number 7, then 9. Any numbers? Can you suggest any numbers? Any of your favorite numbers? Any favorite numbers?
17.
70, 17 or 17?
17.
10.
3.
3, one more,
21.
21. See, here we got the array elements here. Array elements are 7, 9, 17 or something. Okay, like this, we have to put the array elements. Okay, so I want to print array elements in only one line. I want to print array elements in only one line. How to print array elements in only one line? Okay, array elements are printed in, multiple lines now here. 7, 9, 17, 10, 3, 2, 2. So I want to print
Sir,
all the
instead of
elements.
println,
Yeah, very good.
use
Instead of
print.
printing, yeah, very good. So instead of println here, we need to write just print method. Okay. So I just need a code, and the values is 7, 56, 17, and 3. See, we got
So
a,
we can add a space also.
yeah. So we got an output here. Okay, but we didn't have a space. All the numbers would be similar now. So you can add a space by using string concatenation kit. So you can add space or you can add comma. Okay, so I'm going to give space. And our elements are 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so we got the array elements Okay, this will help you to print the array. Okay, so are you guys clear with reading an array and printing an array? Are you clear? So
Yes,
let's
sir.
write some comments. Reading size of an array. Okay, and declaring array with given size. Okay. And let's write a comment for this and the reading values of an array. And here I want to print the elements now. So printing this grammar. Okay, so this is how you need to read the values and you need to print the values. Okay, so every time when you are printing the array values, you have to use, okay, better to use for each loop. Okay, for each loop is more easy and easily more fast. Okay, yeah. Okay, so are you guys clear now? Can I give you any task for no? Can I give you any task?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so okay, let's understand one thing here. Okay, I want to print the biggest number in an array. Okay, I want to print the biggest number in an array. Okay, how to print biggest number from an array? Let's write an algorithm. Okay, first we will have an algorithm, then we can print the values. Okay, yeah, I want to print biggest element in the array. How to print biggest element in the array? Any suggestions or any guesses? Let's try now. So much silence in the class. Guys, assume you are having a array of 5 elements. Assume you are having an array of 5 elements. Now, okay, you want to print the biggest element in those 5 elements. You want to print the biggest element in those 5 elements. Okay, yeah. How can you print? Okay, so let me write one algorithm first, then we can have it. See, so first we have an array with 5 elements. Assume we are having an array with 5 elements. Okay, so I want to print a biggest number in the array. So, biggest number in array. Okay, so we need to use obviously the relational operator, which is a greater than or less than. Okay, so I want to, okay, check, okay, I want to check, okay, every number with one specified number. Okay, so as you know already we are having, okay, multiple elements and I am taking 0th element. Okay, so I think in my perspective I thought 0th element is the maximum element in the array. Okay, in my view 0th element is the maximum element. Okay, but we don't know, but that is my assumption. Okay, as per my assumption 0th element is the maximum. Okay, now we have to compare this 0th element with all other elements. Okay, we have to compare 0th element to all other elements. So then obviously we can print the, I mean, after checking every element with the array, okay, we can actually print the maximum value, no? Okay, so like how can we write this thing? Like we have to check this maximum. Okay, sorry, we have a maximum value. So if maximum value is greater than, okay, if maximum value is greater than array of 1, okay, obviously we can print. Okay, if this particular condition is false, that means if array of I is greater than maximum element, then we need to swap. Okay, then we need to swap the element by using max equal to array of 1. Okay, so in the array of 0 we are placing array of 1 because we find, okay, maximum element is smaller than array of 1, so that's why we are swapping to each other values. Okay, we can swap the value. Okay, by using this particular technique we can write the thing. Okay, so let's write the code. I want to remove everything here, and we have an array. Okay, we declare, I mean, we read the length of an array from the user and we read the values of an array from the user. Now I am taking, okay, int maximum equal to, okay, array of 0. Okay, array of 0 is the, I think array of 0 is the maximum element. Okay, so now we need to, okay, compare every element of an array with maximum. Okay, we need to compare every element of an array by using, I mean, with maximum element, right? So I'm using for loop again for this. Okay, so int I equal to 0, I less than length of an array, and I plus plus. Okay, we are writing the same for loop. Okay, now we need to compare the values. Okay, if, okay, so if maximum element less than array of 1, array of I, if you find any element, okay, is greater than maximum element, we need to swap. Okay, if maximum element is less than array of I, okay, I need to swap. Okay, so maximum equal to array of I. Okay, I swapped the thing. So after completing the iterations of a for loop in the maximum variable, definitely we will have a maximum number in that array, right? So I can print this maximum number, system.out.println. Okay, the maximum number in the array is, the array is, so we need to print some, so maximum value. Okay, the maximum value. And after this we have to close the statements. See, so at the beginning we are reading the input values, okay, as per my thought, okay, my assumption, 0 element is maximum. Okay, that's my assumption. You can take any element. I took 0 element, and we are checking for the, maximum element. Okay, so after checking, if any element is greater than, max, we are swapping values. We are swapping the values. Okay, let's try to run this program. Okay, CLS. Okay, everything is clear on the screen. Now let's print. See, enter the size of an array. I am giving 5, and you can give any values. Okay, give me some values now. Plus 1 5, okay. 8,
20.
1.
It is
It's done. 95 values. Okay, see, the maximum number in the array is 97. Obviously the maximum element is 97 now. So this is how you need to print the maximum element in the given array. Okay, you can take any length. So if I do 10 elements, okay, I'm doing 10. Give me some time. So my suggestion is first one is 7. You can. Nice. Give me some values.
2, 5,
Right?
15,
1 5.
yes sir, yes sir,
Okay.
17, 12, 9,
9,
6,
6. Okay. The maximum number in the array is obviously the 91. Okay. So this is how you need to print the maximum element in the array. Got it?
yes sir.
See, just review the code. If you have any doubt, I can. So we are reading the values and we are declaring the array with a specified length. After specifying the length, we are reading the values of a array, okay, by using the for loop. Okay, after reading the array elements, okay, I am taking something. I am taking a maximum element as a 0 element. Okay, after reading this value, okay. So you can do this particular thing in another method now. So as per our earlier discussion, as per our in the discussion in the previous sessions, okay, we have to we have to check the maximum element. We have to write all the logic in the separate method. Okay, so I am reading. Okay, so another method. I am creating another method here. So public. Okay, something like integer. Okay, public integer. I want to return integer method, and it is a static. I don't want to create any object for this class. Okay, and the element is find max. Find max is the okay okay. So in the maximum thing we need to check the all the conditions. Okay, after completion of for loop, I am returning maximum value because maximum value is the biggest number in the array. Okay, so that's why I'm returning maximum value from the array. Okay. So we need to write a method call, no? So so integer equal to result. Okay, integer result equal to, we need to write a method find max. Okay, we need to pass. Okay, now we need to pass length of the array, and okay, we need to pass that's why I'm writing length of an array, and after length, okay, I am passing array. Okay, I'm passing array. So here you need to read length of an array first. After length of an array, you need to read the value, right? So here int len, which is used to store the length of an array, and int arr, which is used to store the which is used to store the arrays. Okay, you see, we are having everything here, and we need to print result, not a maximum value. We need to print result. Okay, let's shift for this. Okay, so enter size of an array, I'm giving 5, and enter array values, I'm giving something like 21, 22, 91, 23. Okay, so the maximum number in the array is 91 because we are passing 91 from this return max. Okay, we are passing the integer value. So that's why I declared this method as an integer. Okay, like this you have to create a separate method for everything. Okay, so I mean in yesterday's class, okay, we are passing two different values or one value from a method call to a method okay, body, but we are passing okay array, I mean arrays here. Okay, one is a length of a variable and another one is a array. Okay, so entire array. So when you are passing array to the method, you can't use brackets here. Okay, so don't use brackets when you are passing, but you have to use brackets when you are reading. Okay, so please understand the difference. When you are passing an array to a method, you can't use brackets, but when you are reading a array from the method call to the method, you have to use the brackets. Okay, if you miss the bracket, if you misplace the bracket, okay, it will raise an error for sure. Okay, let's just remove the brackets from here. Okay, so definitely we will get an error. See, we get a 4 errors. So you can't miss this brackets when you are reading the value. Okay, if you place brackets when you are passing the value, it will also raise some errors. Okay, so yes. See, so it is also okay raises one error. When you are passing a array to a method, you can't use brackets, but when you are reading an array, you have to use brackets. Okay, please understand the difference between method call and method body. Okay, in method call you can't write a brackets, but in method body you have to write bracket for sure. Okay, so did you understand? Got the difference, no, from method call to method body? Boys and girls,
Yes, sir.
what about this? Girls are so silent in errors, right? Girls, are you understanding? Are you getting my points, no? Hello? Okay, some Gunjan. What about Rupa, Divya, Priya, Priyanshu? Okay. Suraj, are you there, Suraj? Suraj, are you getting my points?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, Renu Prajapati, Renu and Prashant, are you getting my points? I think it is too difficult to understand, but when you concentrate on only today's class, you can understand the things.
Hmm.
Prashant, okay, Suraj, thank you. Can mute. I'm asking you about Prashant. Okay, responder. Okay. Okay, try to do this program form. Okay, try to screenshot this code. Okay, then you try it. Okay. So guys, so I want to print something. Okay, so can you print smallest array? I mean smallest element in the array. Can you print smallest element? Okay. Obviously, in the place of less than, you can put the greater than symbol. That's it. You will get a smallest element. Okay, that's not a matter. Okay. Now, okay, I want to print. Okay, a sorted array. Okay, array in a sorted manner. Okay, based on the values of an array, I want to sort an array. How to sort an array? Can we write a program to sort an array? Sorting of an array. Can you explain me how to sort an array? Just it's a basic thing. Okay, let's understand. Guys, how to sort an array. So when we want to sorting an array, okay, you can compare the every two elements. Like you can compare the 0th element and one element. Okay, so if 0th element is greater than first element. Okay, for example, see, someone says, okay, so let's assume one thing here. Okay, you write an algorithm. So print sorted array. I want to print sorted array. Okay. So when you want to sorting an array, okay, so you can do one particular thing here. Okay, so that is okay. So assume we have a three elements. Okay, assume we have a three elements: array of 0 and array of 1 and array of 2. Okay, assume we are having two. So three. Okay. First, we need to compare two things. Array of 0 is greater than array of 1. Okay. If array of 0 is greater than 1, okay, we need to replace the values of 1 to 0 because array of 1 is smallest now. So smallest will be printed on the first, then biggest will print. Okay, so we need to swap the values. Okay, when we are going to swap the values, we need to use one temporary variable. Okay, one temporary. Now I want to store, okay, array of, okay, I want to store array of 1 in the temporary variable. Okay, I want to store array of 1 in the temporary variable. Okay, so in the array of 1, I want to pass the array of 0. Okay, I want to pass the array of 0. Okay, so then we can pass array of 0 to the temporary variable. Okay, temporary variable has the biggest element, okay, so now, okay, by using this particular method, okay, we are swapping the values together. Okay, we are swapping the array of values. Okay, so right now we have 0th element is the smallest and the first element is the biggest. Now we can compare the 1 and 2. Okay, first element and second element. Okay, we can compare first element and second element, and we can replace the things here. So in the place of 0, we can put 2 and 2. Okay, so like automatically now the array is in a sorted form. Okay, now the array is in a sorted form. Okay, like this. Okay, you can sort an array. Okay, so did you understand? So did you got the logic? So we have to first we need to compare two different elements like 0th element and first element. Okay, or first element and second element. Okay, if any element, okay, if 0th element is greater than first element, we need to change the places of 0th element to 1 and 1 element to 0. Okay, because we need to print, okay, something, we need to print the smallest value first, then we can print the biggest value. Okay, let's have one quick example for this. Okay, so assume we are having a three values, no? So I'm having 12 and 15 and something like 16. Okay, we are having, okay, so array has 12, 15, 16. Assume, okay, three elements. Okay, now we need to compare two elements now. So 12 and 15. Okay, 12 is greater than 15. No, obviously false. Okay, so we can't do anything. Okay, 12 is obviously 12 is smaller than 15, so we can't do any we can't perform anything because it is already in a sorted format. Okay, so if first is a smaller number, then we have a greater number. Okay, so we can't do anything. Okay, let's compare another one. Okay, after 12 and 15 we have to compare 15 and 16. Okay, so is it true 15 is greater than 6? No. Okay, so obviously, okay, so you can't perform any swapping because, okay, it is already in a, okay, one proper format. Okay, let's have another example for this thing. Assume we are having three variables again, 13, 5 and 15. Okay, assume we are having three variables. Okay, let's compare 1 and 2 first. 13 and 5. Is it true 13 is greater than 5? Is it true? True, no? Obviously true, right? So we need to store, okay, we need to replace the values. Okay, so first we have to print 5, then we have to print 13. Okay, we need to replace the values, right? So let's take an example of temporary variable. Okay, so let's store, 13 is a array of 0 and 5 is a array of 1, right? So I am storing array of 0 in the temporary variable. Okay, that means, okay, so 13 is stored in temporary variable. Okay, now I want to store array of one element. Okay, so a of 1 must be stored in a 0. Okay, now a of 0 has 5. Okay, a of 0 has 5 and a of 1 has also 5. Okay, now we need to change the value in the a of 1, which is a temporary variable. Okay, now we replace the values. Okay, right now, okay, so you can print 5, 13 and 15. Now, okay, already these two values are sorted manner. Now we need to compare these two values. We need to compare these two values. Okay, let's compare. 13 is greater than 15, obviously no, so you can't perform any swapping here. Okay, so let's print the final array. This is the final array and which is in a sorted format. Initially we have an array like this. Okay, at the final of comparison we have an array like this. Okay, this is how you need to compare an array. Okay, we need to write two different for loops here. Okay, so two different for loops. Okay, so got it, guys? Can you write the code for this? We have an algorithm, we have a syntax. So can you write a code? First of all, tell me one thing. So did you understand this logic or not?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, what is it? Clear, no? For everyone. Okay. So let's write a code for this, okay? So change the method sorting. And I don't want to return anything here. So why? See, so initially we declare, we read the length of a array. After reading the length of an array, we are creating one array of specific size. After creation of an array, we are passing the, we are reading the values from the user. We are reading the values from the user. Okay, so we need to pass this particular array to the one method. Okay, so we created one method which is a sorting. Okay, to sorting method we need to pass array and length. Okay, so which is a static method, so no need to create an object for it. So I want to, okay, pass length and array to the sorting method. I want to pass length and array to the sorting method. Okay, so in this particular method we need to write the logic. We need to write the logic and we need to print the things. Okay, so let's write there's some logic here. Okay, let's how to finish it. No, let me take. We have how to start this. So declare two variables in type object, and so write a one for loop. Okay, so I equal to 0 and I less than length of an array and I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus. Okay, now we need to, okay, now we need to write one loop here. Okay, so for, so I want to print, okay, I want to check, okay, the j value from I plus 1. Okay, so because, okay, if I equal to 0, okay, we have to compare 0th element with first element with second element with third element with fourth, right? So if I value equal to 0, okay, so our j value must be 1. If I equal to 1, then our j value should be 2. If I equal to 2, then j value should be 3. Okay, we have to increase the I value with 1. Okay, so that's why I declared j equal to I plus 1. Okay, so j equal to I plus 1. Okay. Now we need to iterate the j value till length of an array and j plus plus. Okay, so we have a for loop. Okay, now we need to compare the array of I along with array of j. Okay, array of I along with array of j. So initially I want to declare one temporary variable which is a 0. Okay, so we need to initiate the value. No? So like let me take example of temporary. Okay, now we need to compare the values. If array of I is greater than array of j, okay, if array of I mean if zeroth element is greater than first element. If zeroth element is greater than first element, then what to do? We need to swap the values. We need to swap the values like this. Okay, we need to swap the values like this. Okay, let's write a code for this. Okay, if array of I is greater than array of j, then we need to perform some operation now. Like so temporary equal to array of 5, where temporary variable stores the I value, and a of I equal to, sorry, it is an array, not a, so please make sure the name of an array is ARR, and we need to store j value in I, and in j value we need to store temporary value. Okay, so after doing all this stuff, we can print the array elements. Okay, we can print the array elements. So for int k, okay, arr, so just print the array elements. System dot out dot println. Okay, we need to print k value along with some space. With some space, and then with a semicolon. Okay, see. So initially we are reading the array values. Okay, after reading the array values, we are calling one method. Okay, we are calling a sorting method. Calling sorting method. Okay, after calling sorting method, okay, so in the sorting method we read the two values, which is a length and array. After reading two values, okay, we are writing a for loop to iterate the array values from one to another. Okay, so we are comparing zeroth element to first element to second element to third element. No, so like we have to iterate the values here. Okay, if I equal to 0, then j must be equal to 1. If I equal to 1, j must be equal to 2. Okay, so that's why we are increasing the value. So that's why I initialize j equal to I plus 1. Okay, after initializing the values, okay, we are comparing. If any element is greater than particular element, then we can print the, we can swap the values. If it is a less than, we can't do anything, just iterate the array. Okay, just a continue. Okay, so let's save this program and run it. So Java array, and I am giving 6 elements. Okay, yeah, you can suggest me 6 elements, guys. Any 6 elements? 8, 4, 9, 6.
2.
2.
31.
41.
98.
90. Okay, see, you got the array in shorter format. 2, 41, 74, 84, 96. Okay, got it? Guys, do you know shorter format? No?
Yes, sir.
So did you understand this logic? This is the logic for sorting an array. I'm not returning any array, so that's why I mentioned it as a void and I'm printing the values. Is it okay for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So like I worked on a ascending order, no? Okay. So I printed an array by using an ascending order, right? So I want to print an array by using descending order. Can you do it? Guys, can you? We need to sort the array in descending order. Do you know how to print that?
Yes, sir.
So we can change the symbol to
Yeah. Okay, that's where we should be. Okay, so I'm giving you 3 tasks for today. Okay, so the first one. Mm, program. Write a Java program. Java program. To print. Okay, write a Java program to print you know, array in short descending order. Array in descending order. The second program, write a Java program to print. Okay. So I think you guys are aware of the biggest element and smallest element in an array. Okay, but now I want to read second biggest element in the array. I want to print second biggest element in the array. Second biggest element in the array. So the third one, write a Java program. Okay, write a Java program. Print sum of the elements. Sum of the array. I want to print sum of the array elements. Okay, this is the three programs you have to complete by the end of the day. After completion, okay, please share your GitHub link in the repository. Okay, sorry, in the WhatsApp. Okay, can you write these codes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to print a second biggest element, not a biggest element in the array. I want to print second biggest element. Okay, for example, if you are having an array like this. Okay, so I want to print this 85. Okay, so I want to print second biggest element in the array, not a first biggest. I already discussed the first, first biggest and first smallest. Okay, now you have to print the second biggest element in the array, and you have to print sum of the array elements and descending order of an array. Are you clear with all this? Can you do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Do you have
Yes,
any
sir.
doubts in completing these tasks? Any doubts or any confusion? Okay, I think it's clear for everyone, right? Okay. Okay, so I can wind up the session. So please complete these three programs by the end of the day, by 6 o'clock. Okay, and I can give you an exam also. Let me create a assessment. I already have an assessment. See, we are printing some array programs and all. Statement. Only arrays again, arrays. One question about label for loop, and the one about UI. I'm expecting a good response in this exam. Okay. Is an assessment number 3 now.